The Unseen Marksman. In the city of Veridian, a place plagued by crime and corruption, there lived a legendary hitman known only as the Unseen Marksman. He was a master of disguise and a true enigma to both the law enforcement and the criminal underworld. No one knew his true identity, and his name was whispered fearfully in the darkest corners of the city. The Unseen Marksman had a unique approach to his profession. He didn't take contracts from just anyone, he only accepted jobs that involved taking down the most ruthless and powerful criminals who seemed untouchable by the law. His targets were those who had escaped justice time and again, evading capture and causing chaos with impunity. Detective Sarah Reyes, a seasoned officer with the Veridian Police Department, had been chasing after the Unseen Marksman for years. She was determined to bring him to justice, believing that no one should play the role of judge, jury, and executioner. But as she investigated his actions and the targets he eliminated, she began to realize that there was a deeper purpose behind his hits. One night, as Detective Reyes was following a lead on one of the Unseen Marksman's potential targets, she stumbled upon a crime scene that left her stunned. The victim was a corrupt businessman who had been responsible for countless innocent lives ruined. He was dead, but the scene was unlike any she had ever encountered. There were no signs of a struggle, and the bullet that killed the man seemed to have come from an impossible angle. Intrigued and confused, Detective Reyes started to dig deeper into the Unseen Marksman's history. She discovered a pattern in his targets, a hidden connection between them. They all had a sinister past of exploiting the vulnerable, and they had managed to avoid the consequences of their actions through their wealth and power. As she got closer to understanding the true motive behind the Unseen Marksman's hits, she found herself torn between her duty as a detective and the realization that maybe he was doing what the justice system had failed to accomplish. He was delivering a form of poetic justice, targeting those who seemed above the law and couldn't be touched through conventional means. Meanwhile, the Unseen Marksman faced his most challenging assignment yet, a crime lord who had managed to control Veridian's underworld with an iron fist. This criminal mastermind had orchestrated countless crimes, but his true identity remained shrouded in mystery. Detective Reyes, now conflicted about her pursuit of the Unseen Marksman, came close to discovering his true identity. She followed the trail of clues, leading her to a long-forgotten case file in the police archives. The file contained information about an undercover operation gone wrong many years ago. It seemed that some of her colleagues had betrayed their own, and the fallout from that incident left deep scars on the city's law enforcement. As the pieces of the puzzle fell into place, Detective Reyes confronted the Unseen Marksman on the rooftop of an abandoned building. She knew that he was about to take down the crime lord and feared that the cycle of violence would continue if she didn't act. But before she could make a move, the Unseen Marksman turned to face her. In the dim light, she finally saw his face and recognized him. He was someone she had known long ago, a former detective who had been framed and abandoned by his own partners during that disastrous undercover operation. His life was ruined, and he became the Unseen Marksman to bring justice to those who abused their power and betrayed their oaths. Torn between her loyalty to the law and her understanding of his motivations, Detective Reyes hesitated. The crime lord approached, gun in hand, but before he could pull the trigger, a shot rang out. The Unseen Marksman had fired, disarming the criminal without killing him. In that moment, the Unseen Marksman showed Detective Reyes that he had no intention of becoming a cold-blooded killer. He wanted to make the criminals face the consequences of their actions, not simply eliminate them. With the crime lord apprehended and the truth about the undercover operation exposed, Veridian's law enforcement started to rebuild its tarnished reputation. The Unseen Marksman vanished into the shadows once again, becoming a legend that would never be forgotten. In the end, Detective Reyes realized that justice wasn't always black and white. Sometimes, it came in shades of gray, and the line between right and wrong blurred. The Unseen Marksman's story remained a mystery, a symbol of the city's struggle against corruption, and a reminder that justice could be found in the most unexpected places.